Hey folks, Vic here with your weekly trade video for Friday, January the 20th, 2023. I'm actually getting this out late. Last Monday, January the 16th, I held a webinar where I went through the way that I teach to trade the Forex markets around the close of the London stock market, what we call the London Close Trade Strategy, or LCT for short. So first of all, just a heads up. In the webinar, I made an offer showing several options on how to get the LCT course. One of those offers is for an annual price that is crazy low and includes full access to the LCT course, and that offer is ending this coming Sunday. So yeah, check it out. So in this video, what I want to do is show you proof of concept. In other words, that what the course teaches actually works. I'm going to show you 4 trades from this past week that all set up according to the very objective rules that are laid out in the course and that I talked about in the webinar. If you missed the webinar or you just want to see the order page with the various options, I put links in the text below this video or in the email that you received. Folks, if you're truly serious about wanting to learn how to trade a low pip risk setup and a system that you simply don't need a lot of money to get started with, and give yourself a very, very good chance to start seeing consistent profitability, then I hope that you take advantage of the webinar special offer while you still can. And you know, no matter what, at the end of the day, hey, if it's not your cup of tea, no sweat. I don't mean to talk anyone into anything that isn't suitable for them. I just don't want you to miss out on the special, because it will end on Sunday. Okay. So I hope you like this video and that you'll give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button. And let's get going. Let's take a look at the trades from this past week. Okay, let's go through these trades, and bear with me. Just going back and scrolling back in the charts can be difficult at times, but I really want to show these to you because I want you to see how these trades set up. And like I talked about in the webinar, that they, this is 13 years going on now trading these things, and they just continue to work over and over and over again. And anyway, here we go. British pound US dollar pair. We hit this on the 16th. We had a this level down here. Now this level, I liked it because look how hard price moved away from it. Came back to retest it, and on the 16th, what it did is it held in here a few days. And the 16th, something happened. It broke through that level. So old support becomes old resistance becomes support. Let's go down now to our entry time frame, and I want to show you what that breakout looked like on a very small time frame. It was way back here. So on the 16th, this is a 5-minute chart. This is our entry time frame. These are all 5-minute charts, so that's why there's a lot of candles here. It breaks out, comes back, and when these levels get hit, they have to conform to some very specific objective rules. This did. This is all exactly what we wanted to see on this setup. By the way, this was not a pure London close trade, because we were not at the London close. We weren't at our London close time window. It actually took place in very, very early New York, just at the very beginning of New York, and so we had a stretched range when it hit this level, and then it did this big setup here, this big qualified entry, the way that we have to qualify it, and the entry was down here at 121.82. That's a very specific entry, objective entry, needed a 15 pip stop loss. Okay. It rallied up and it missed a 2-to-1 reward risk by 1.5 pips, which is pretty annoying. Now, this day was, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It was a bank holiday in the U.S., so thinner trading. After the London close happened, which was right into here, you can't expect a lot to happen. I mean, liquidity is out of the market and all that. So taking a profit at these old levels like this is not a bad strategy. That's almost 2-to-1. But here's what happened. The trade got up 1-to-1. I see how it took off like this. Got up 1-to-1 very quickly, about 30 minutes. And again, it was a quiet day with the Martin Luther King Jr. bank holiday. So on a day like this, like I say, maybe you want to take your profits like this at a logical level. Okay? We never allow a loss once you're up 1-to-1 on your position. Ever. We do not allow a loss. Okay? So now you have to figure out, what are you going to do when you're up 1-to-1? Do you take profit on half? Do you take all of your profit? What's your reward risk and that kind of thing. So say you just took a 1-to-1 profit on half of your position when it rallied like this. Okay, on half your position, and you got a 1-to-1 profit, and you put a break-even stop or your stop at entry on your remaining half, and it went down and it hit it eventually. Okay, that means that you still end up with a profitable day. If you're risking 0.5% of your account, excuse me, you just made 0.25% return on your account that day. If you only risk, like I say, 0.5%, that's a good trade. Second trade. This was taken by a Coach's Corner member. It was on the British pound US dollar again. I'm going to move it ahead to the next day. This is where we sold. Now, let me just show you something here on the higher time frame daily chart. Why is that a level that you want to look at? Because this level right here is one that I'm interested in. Because it was a reaction level here, and then price went down and broke below all this, and then came back up. And generally speaking, these will be another reaction level. And maybe, do you guys recognize this? This is a head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, and then the right shoulder over here. Very often forms here and goes down. It didn't in this case, but yet anyway. So that's a level you want to watch, right? And sure enough, it did react. Well, let's go and see what it did there on the smaller time frame when it hit that level. We went up like this. And this was taken by one of our Coach's Corner members who is new to these kind of trades. I just love it. I mean, people are just learning about these and seeing it pretty quickly what to do with it. So we hit that resistance level. And you don't need to know about head and shoulders patterns, by the way. You don't need to know anything about patterns to trade these setups. And as well as hitting resistance, price had made a stretched range. So we're looking for a sell. Okay, on our entry time frame, this 5-minute chart right here, I've circled right here. Okay, I've circled where the member took the trade, way up here. These are exact entry points that they're in the course, right? They're not a guess about where you should sell or anything like that. They're exact, and where the stop goes is exact. So he got short right up in there, and he did everything just perfectly, and it just dropped like this, and he took a 2-to-1 reward risk trade out of it. Beautiful. So on an account risk of 0.5%, that brings in a 1% return for the day if you had held the entire position and you didn't scale out at 1-to-1. Well, let's not assume that. Let's just say that you took half the position off for 1-to-1 and the other half off at 2-to-1. Okay, reward risk. So that's a 1.5-to-1 profit overall, or 0.75% return for the day if you're risking 0.5% of your account. Okay, I'm not going to go through all the math, just trust me. Next trade on the Euro-Yen pair. Euro-Yen. Let's bring this one up. This is the third trade. This was a buy on January the 18th, also taken by a Coach's Corner member, and he took a 1-to-1 reward risk out on this one. Okay. By the way, the 18th, I'll just show you in a second here, was a very wild day. There was some Japanese central bank stuff going on, shenanigans and whatever, but it was really up and down. So support got hit. Let's just go up and look at this daily chart here. And this is the 18th. Okay, so let me just make sure I got the right, just 1 second. Let me just pause the recording for 1 second here. I'm sorry, yeah, support got hit right. This level of support was a pretty good level. It held here and all in here, and it held here. Broke a little bit in here. But the member had the still marked in there. Okay, so it hit that support. We had a stretched range again. We always look for these kinds of trades. Let me go back to the right time here. Where the heck was it? There it is. So we come down, we hit that level I just showed you on the, and look how that held. See, the thing is we don't know if it's going to hold. You might say, oh, that's not a very good level. Well, price is going to tell you by doing this. See this rally? That's what we're looking for right there. That qualifies. We have specific parameters for those rallies. It qualified it. And the guy bought the trade right here. He bought the Euro-Yen right in here, okay, and he took a 1-to-1 reward risk. So again, on a 0.5% initial risk of your account, okay, that is a 0.5% return. But let's say he only took half his position at 1-to-1, and the other half he got stopped out for break even. And now, like in the first example, his return is only 0.25% for the day. I don't know what he did, but let's just assume that. But still, in a profitable day. Okay, so let's go to the next trade. Trade number 4. This one was on the New Zealand US dollar pair. Okay, And let me see here. Once again, the trade was taken by one of our members, which I just love to see, especially since the course hasn't even been out for a week yet. You know, people are picking these up. That's cool. This was an interesting trade because it didn't make a stretched range, but it did set up for a buy during the London close time window. And because of the trend on this pair, it also qualified as a valid trade. I cover this in the course, you know, how trades get qualified. We hit support on the daily, let me go on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so here was the day of the trade right here. We hit this, see this support? Do you agree that's support? I hope so. Stopped and went straight up. So, okay, that's a really good level. And we go down to our entry time frame, which is, so that's right into here. And when it hit this support in here, and this is the London close, start of the London close time window, this is perfect. This is just what we want to see. And again, the exact entry was right down into here. Okay. And I want to show you something else too. And this is kind of a sidebar. It's not really necessary to know this, but it's very interesting for those that have a little more experience. You see this candle right here? You recognize that? Pin bar reversal? Isn't that nice? So that's set up at the same time. If I go to my hourly chart, it was the same thing. Where's my, that was right here. This candle right here. Very strong ACAT candle. Anyway, price comes down. Look at this level here. Like, that's a really good level. That's the same level as that 4-hour chart. So price comes down, qualifies by this swing here, comes down. The fill is down in here. And again, one of our members took this. And so great candlestick action. Like I say, you don't have to know anything about candlesticks. But you can see that we had those pin bar reversals. So on our entry time frame, the entry was here where the circle is. And I know he took a 1-to-1 reward risk. I don't know if he held part of his position for higher prices. But let's just say he took it all off for 1-to-1 reward risk. Okay, or a return of 0.5% of his account. Okay, and by the way, because of the trend of this pair, because the trend is up on this pair on our smaller, our 4-hour and hourly charts, it's one that you could elect to hang on to for more pips. I'm recording this, a day later, and it's up right now about 100 pips from entry on this trade. That's pretty impressive. You needed like a 10 or 11 pip stop on this thing. If you add up all of these trades from this week that I just talked about, that comes to a total return of about 1.75% for the week, very conservatively. And there were no losses. And we found that, and there's going to be losses, by the way. I'm not saying there's never going to be losses, don't get me wrong. But this is an accurate way to trade. I mean, we found that the LCT setups, the way that I teach them and the way Shirley and I taught them when we co-created the course back in 2010, have historically been very accurate. So anyway, again, I just wanted to provide you with a bunch of examples from just this past week to show you how these set up and how reliable they've been. And like I say, we're talking 13 years now. And I apologize for starting and stopping and during this, because it's just I had to scroll back, and it's a little bit awkward doing that, trying to find where the trade was and all that. So I hope it all made sense. Thanks. So there you go. Not sure what more I can tell you about these trades. You've seen some actual trades from this past week. If you have a question about anything, just let me know. Whether or not you decide to give this a proper look is obviously your call. We've done everything we can to make this as affordable as possible for as many people as we can. So yeah, if it's in the cards for you, we just love to have you with us. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a bit of a long one today, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to it. Have a great weekend and trading week ahead. All the best.